Hi, I'm Jeremy Baber. I've been a physical therapist for the past 20 years. I'm also the Director of Exercise Programming for HealthJoy. I'm going to be leading you through a 15-minute mobility program for your back and your hips. First, I'm going to demonstrate the movement, and then you'll follow along with me. Our first priority is to keep the movements pain-free. So if you experience any discomfort whatsoever, please reach out to your coach immediately. If you lack the flexibility to do any of the movements, please ask your coach for a modification. There are 2 exercises at the end that are optional that can be used as a cool down. Pick the one that works best for your body. During that portion of the video, you might need a little equipment. You want to have either 2 folded towels on hand, or you can have 2 small pillows. Let's get started. We're going to lie down on our backs, and if you need a pillow for your neck, go ahead and grab one. All right. So our first movement is called knee circles, and this is how you get there. We're going to pick up one leg at a time, and then you're going to put your hands on top of your knees, and then you're going to relax your back, you're going to relax your legs, and now your arms are going to take over, and now watch me, I'm going to circle it around one time, and now you can join me on the next one. Okay, so I'm going to circle around 10 times. And what you're essentially doing is you're giving your low back a massage, so this should feel really good. If it doesn't feel good, let us know. Things to focus on while you're doing this movement and some of the other exercises is to not be holding your breath as you perform the movements. We got 2 more. And let's reverse it. And so what you want to try to do is breathe diaphragmatically. So that kind of means breathing into your belly and breathing into your low back. So when you inhale, you want to feel your low back and your belly expand. And then you want to feel those areas deflate when you exhale. And just choose a pace that feels comfortable for you. You shouldn't do this too quickly. We're going to do 2 more. Okay, so for the next one, bring our legs down. And I'm going to straighten out my right leg. And so for this next pattern, it's called single knee to chest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actively lift my left leg as high as I can. So I go to the end range of my motion, and then I'll take that knee and I'll pull it to my chest. And then you can join me on the next one, okay? So we're going to do 4 of these on each side. We're going to hold for a count of 10. And once again, you want to keep this, very comfortable. If it's not comfortable, you can bend the opposite leg, and that will let you go a little bit further. It'll take some of the stress off. Let's go ahead and switch. But for me, I have enough flexibility and enough comfort that I can do it with my legs straight. All right, let's go ahead and switch. And switch again. So there's a large focus, obviously in this video, on improving hip mobility. Go ahead and switch. And the reason why that is that it's often the case that people with back pain have very stiff hips. And so when your hips are stiff, you're going to lack mobility there, and then you're going to basically compensate at the neighboring joint. Let's go ahead and switch, that being the low back. So you'll tend to overload and overmobilize your back to make up for the lack of flexibility in your hips. So if we can open up your hips, it's going to take some of the strain off your back. We've got 1 more of these on each side. All right, let's go ahead and switch. And just keep it comfortable. Don't hold your breath. All right, let's switch. Last one. Okay, let that leg come down. So the next pattern, both knees are going to be bent at a comfortable angle, and then we're going to open up our feet wide enough until you feel a stretch in your inner thigh, and we're going to do a wide leg rock. And so what that's going to look like is your arms are going to go straight out at the side at shoulder level, if that's comfortable. Your neck is going to be centered, and you want to feel grounded into your arms and legs are grounded, or your arms are grounded into the floor. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to rock my legs to the left, and what's going to happen is my hip's going to come up, and that's okay, and I'm going to hold there for a count of 5. And then you can join me on the next one. We're going to do 5 each way. So we're going to rock to the right. And we're going to rock to the left. So go ahead and switch. And you only go as far as it feels comfortable. Switch. If you notice a large asymmetry between your 2 sides, let's go ahead and switch. Let your coach know.
They might give you an alternate corrective strategy if they go and switch, if the asymmetry is fairly large. And you can always keep it comfortable, so go and switch. So if there's only a portion of the range you can tolerate, just go to the portion you tolerate. Keep it comfortable both ways. Go and switch. Should probably be our 4th rep on each side, so here we go. And switch. And we're going to finish up with one more on each side. And switch. All right, we're going to come back to the middle. So now you're going to bring your feet together, your knees together, and we're going to repeat the same pattern, but the knees are going to be more central. And so by keeping your knees and feet together, this is going to target more your low back. So the last one was more for your hips. So that's what it's going to look like. Now you can join me, okay? So here we go. We're going to rock left for a count of 5. And for these, we're just going to do 4 on each side. Here we go. 2. And let's switch. And switch. So it's just a count of 5. You don't have to be on my count. We're going to go and switch. And if you want to get more traction on this, so when I say traction, switch for me, you can feel your knees reach away for your low back, stay grounded in your upper back and shoulders, and you can create a traction in your low back. Go ahead and relax back to the middle and switch sides. So I can reach my kneecaps away from my back if I keep my arms grounded, and I'll get a little bit deeper stretch in my low back. Good, we're going to switch. We'll do one more each way. So I can reach my knees away from my back, create a little more space in my lumbar spine, and then we're going to switch back. And this is the last one. Okay, so the next pattern, let your knees come back to the middle. It's going to look like this. I'm going to basically take my left leg, cross it over. I'm going to actively lift this thigh to my chest, and then I'm going to reach through this window. I can either grab the back of my thigh or the back of the front of my knee, and I'm going to pull it towards my chest until I feel a comfortable stretch. I'm going to hold for a count of 10. So this is the demonstration. So we're going to repeat that 3 times on this side, and then we'll do 3 on the other side. So I'm going to lift it up as high as I can. Make sure you join me, and here we go. So I'm going to hold it for a count of 10. It may not be exactly 10 seconds, but that's okay. I'm just keeping it all in my head. Good, let it come back down. Relax, and we're going to bring it up again. And let's just say you struggle to get past 90 degrees with this. Go ahead and relax. You can loop a towel around your thigh and you use that towel for leverage. Here we go. I'm going to lift up, but I don't need the towel. I can reach. But if you have trouble reaching through for the back of your thigh or the top of your shin, use a towel. Okay, we're going to bring it back down, and now we're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to cross my right leg over. I'm going to actively lift this leg up as high as I feel comfortable, and then I'm going to reach through. I'll do the back of my thigh this time, and we'll hold for a count of 10. I'll let it come back down for a moment or 2, and then I'm going to pause. I'll lift it up again. I kind of prefer my shin. And I'll be feeling stretch on my right hip when I do this. I'm going to let it come back down. I got one more of these. And this pattern is called Figure 4 Knee to Chest. All right, we'll let that leg come back down. I'm going to roll onto my side, and then I'm going to come up to a sitting position. I can use my top hand and my bottom hand to kind of get me here. And then I'm going to sit cross-legged. Now, if you can't sit cross-legged, then you can put some firm blankets underneath your buttocks, firm pillow, something to get up a little bit taller, but I don't have that issue. But if you do have that issue, talk to your coach. They can give you an alternate exercise. Okay, so this next exercise is a side bend. So it's going to kind of look like I'm reaching away, but here are the fine points. My right hand is going to go down on the floor. I'm going to let my elbow bend a little bit. I'm going to reach long with this hand. As I reach across, I'm not going to drop my weight into this hip. I'm going to stay grounded in my left hip. So as I reach long with my left, I'm staying grounded in my left hip. And if I want to increase the intensity of the stretch, I can let this elbow bend. So that's what it's going to look like. And this should be comfortable. It feels really good. And then, so now join me on the next one. So my left hand is going to be here. I'm going to alternate back and forth. I'm going to reach long and try to keep long with this hand as I bend this elbow to feel the stretch in my low back. If I want more stretch, I'll let that elbow bend more, but I have to stay grounded in that right hip. So we're going to hold 5 seconds each way, and we're going to alternate back and forth. We're going to do 4 on each side. So this would be number 2. Ooh, that feels good. All right, and switch with me. Here we go. And switch with me. Good. And switch with me. And switch with me. Got one more on each side. And really fight to keep that opposite hip down. All right, so I'm gonna reach across. I'm gonna try to keep my right buttock grounded as I bend that elbow. And then in terms of your neck, go and relax. You always wanna feel like there's energy out to the top of your head when you're doing this one. So I'm gonna bend. There we go, this feels great. That'll great for me. All right, so the next movement is called Sphinx pose. It's a yoga pose. So I'm gonna lay on my stomach. Now for some of you, laying on your stomach is not gonna be a comfortable activity, so if you need a pillow, don't place it underneath your belly, but try putting it underneath your pelvis as such to make it more comfortable, because it's not about being uncomfortable, you wanna make it comfortable. So, but for me, I tolerate, laying flat just fine. So my elbows are right underneath my shoulder joints. My palms can be flat, they can be up, it really doesn't make a big difference. And my feet are flat. I'm gonna get tall on my elbows, tall as I can on my elbows. Once I'm as tall as I could be on my elbows, then I'm gonna reach my heart away from the mat towards the ceiling. And then from there, I'm gonna basically find energy out to the top of my head, but I'm gonna keep my chin down. And this is what it looks like, so you can join me on the next one. So we're gonna do 5-second counts. So I'm gonna get tall, reach my heart away, and then reach my neck long, chin tucked. And then I'm gonna do this for a 5-second count, and we're gonna do this 10 times. So this is our first one. And then I'm gonna relax back down. And I'm gonna get tall again, reaching my heart away, neck long, chin tucked. And relax back down. Nice and tall, neck long. Good, on 3. Nice and tall, reach that heart away, neck stays long, chin stays tucked. Good. Next one. And relax, we're halfway there. All right, this should be our 6th one. Good. You want to really feel that upper back working to pull you back. Good, relax. So you should want that sense that like it's a mother cat picking you up by the scruff of your neck, pulling you up. Nice and tall, feel that energy in your upper back. Working, relax, got 2 more. Nice and tall. And relax, last one. Nice and tall. And relax. Now I need a little bit of a break. But the next movement is called upward dog. So this is another yoga move. So what's gonna happen, I'm gonna take my hands out just above my shoulders, wider than my armpits. And then I'm going to basically press up. But what you don't want to do is you don't want your hips to come off the ground. You want to imagine that if you had a belt with belt loops on, you want those belt loops stuck to the mat. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press up as high as I can comfortably, keeping those belt loops stuck to the mat, and this is what the press up looks like. I'm going to hold for 5 seconds, and we're going to do 5 of these, okay? So your arms are going to get a little bit of workout. So go ahead and join me here. And I'm going to keep my belt loops stuck to the floor, and I'll only go up as high as it feels comfortable, and then I want to feel my neck long, chin down. Good, there's 1. Here's 2. And relax. Here's number 3. Good. Relax. Number 4, if you need more time between each one, pause the video, you can rest. For some of you, go and relax. This requires some upper body strength, so if it's not comfortable, you can repeat the Sphinx instead. And last one. All right, the next movement is another yoga move. It's called cat and cow. So what you want to do is be in a hands and knees position. Hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. The feet can be flat, or you can be here. It really depends on what your comfort level is. This isn't going to be a comfortable position for some people because of the wrists, so if you need to make fists, you can make fists. The other thing you can do is you can hold on to small dumbbells so that way your knuckles aren't even touching, and you can rest using the dumbbells as long as the dumbbells are like hexagonal and not circular. So now, what's going to happen from here, This is a cow, or I'm sorry, this is the cat move. I'm going to let my head drop, and I'm going to feel the center of my back rise, and I'm going to tuck my chin under, and I'm going to hold for a count of 5. And then the opposite of this is the cow movement. So when I do cow, my low back sags, my tailbone lifts, my heart lifts, and I can look up towards the ceiling, or I can look straight ahead. So that's the sequence. We're going to do that 5 times, okay? Each way. So I'm going to round for a count of 5, and then I'm going to sag for a count of 5, and I want to feel that kind of arch or anterior tilt of my pelvis. Good, we're going to reverse it, rounding the back, and now sagging the back and the hips. Even though my hips sag, I don't shift my weight forward. We're going to round. This is our 3rd rep. And sag. Here we go again. And sag. Here we go again. And we're going to sag. All right. So you did pretty well. If you had any problems with any of those movements, let me know. Now the next portion are the bonus stretches. So there are 2 options here. You can choose the one that's best for your body. The first one's less intense, and the second one is obviously more intense, okay? So this first option is called a quadruped rock. So I'm gonna get my knees wider than my hips, basically as wide as my shoulder joints, and then my hands are gonna basically be underneath my shoulder joints, but I'm gonna walk them forward just a little bit. So they start underneath, but I walk them forward, and then what I wanna do is get nice and tall on my hands. And the positioning of your foot is important. You want as many of your toes on the floor as you can. My pinky toe won't obviously touch, but I want as many toes as I can on the floor. And then I'm going to press away from the floor with my shoulders, and this is getting driven by my shoulders. So I'm pressing through the heel of my hands as far back as I feel comfortable. You may feel this in your arch. You may feel this in your hips, and then you come out of it. So we're going to hold that for 5 seconds, and then we're going to rock back 10 times. So I'm here. I'm going to press back. And then I'm going to release. There's 1. I'm going to get tall. I'm going to press back and release. There's 2. And so what this is doing, get tall, press back, here's 3, is we're mobilizing an area called your lumbosacral junction. Okay, and we're going to come back. So this is mobilizing the transition point between your spine and your pelvis. Good. Come out of it. And this should be completely comfortable. If this isn't comfortable for your knees, put a pillow underneath your knees. And press back. Nice and tall. Good. Press through the heel of those hands. Good. 2 more. Nice and tall. I'm going to press back as far as it feels comfortable. And that's the key. It's got all these moves need to be comfortable, or we'll find a modification that works for you. Okay. So now this is a similar pose, but more intense. It's a pose from yoga called frog pose. So this is where you're going to want that towel to basically pad and protect your knees. I can use a pillow on the other side. But you want to open up your knees as wide as you feel comfortable, getting that stretch in your inner thigh, and then your foot is going to be bent at a right angle, your knee is going to be bent at a right angle, and then you're going to drop down onto your elbows. Now if this is super intense, just being here, walk yourself forward to take the stress away, but this is what it looks like. So I have my legs positioned, I'm tall on my elbows, and I'm pressing back into my hips. So that's what the stretch looks like. We're going to hold for a count of 10, and we're going to do that 5 times, and this is frog pose. So you can join me on the next one. Just make sure you have something to pad and protect your knee. All right, so here we go. I'm going to hold for a count of 10. And the reason why I like this stretch so much, even though it looks, difficult and aggressive, is in our culture, go and shift forward and come out of it. We spend so much time sitting, and then over the course of a lifetime, that really locks your hips up nice and tall and push. And so when you get into your 50s, 60s, 70s, your mobility is not there because it's slowly eroded over the years. Go ahead and shift forward. So we have to do some things that may be uncomfortable at first. Go and push, but it should, ease and improve your mobility. This isn't probably the place you should start. If you have, if you do a lot of sitting, go and relax. Start with that quadruped rock, and then you can progress to this. Good. And we'll come out of it. And last one, nice and tall. Press back. There we go. And come out of it. All right. Great work. I'll see you next time.